What's up, funky people? Laura Funk God here, and today I have a very sobering topic, another discussion on Western contemporary culture. I planned this out a second ago, what I was going to say. Philosophically, politically, psychologically, this is affecting our children, our families, our spirituality, and that is the funk god Mischief, my pet rats. I feel that this is something that I want to spread awareness on, raise the consciousness, the pulse, the beats, the hearts of all of the funk fans. And so I will introduce one by one the collaborators of the Funk God brand, the ambassadors, the cultural ambassadors, my rats. So I have one rat already right here. This guy. This is Danny. You don't have to be so dramatic about it. It's not like he doesn't come out here all the time. I mean, they actually don't spend a lot of time out here. I purposely try to keep them in the rat room or my bedroom. But Danny comes out here more than any of the other rats because Danny is my homeboy. Danny Elf Rat. He is named after Danny Elfman because I have some oingo boingo issues. Danny he was the first rat that I bonded to of my 3 original rats. And so he's always kind of been what I call my soul mouse. And Danny, he's a very good boy. I don't mean to be generic, but he is, the thing about Danny is I like to say that he's assertive. He's very sweet, and he does, he can be cuddly, and he is, affectionate, but he's bold. He's not passive at all. He's an assertive, he's well-adjusted, but so he has a good mix of agreeableness and disagreeableness, which is very adaptive. So you can see right now he's not... What do you want? He's been out here so much, he knows that he can jump down, which I don't want him to. I mean, he can. He's not supposed to, but he does anyway because he is disagreeable. And so he likes to explore, and they're not supposed to be in here because there's like too many cords and whatever. But that's why he's being like this right now. But I love Danny because he is the softest of my rats because he has a special coat. I actually have to pay $10 extra for his fancy ass. Because he's an agouti silvermane, which means that the ends of his hair follicles are hollow at the end, producing a silvery effect. Danny, I'm trying to show you off. So he has a silvery sort of coat, and he's softer. And then agouti silvermanes also just tend to have like a little beard, and I just think that's really sexy. Come on, Danny. Yeah, he's antsy because he wants to get down and get into trouble. That's why a group of rats is called a mischief. So that's the funk god, the Funk Mischief. Danny also has really long claws. He has the sharpest and the longest claws, so he has scratched me many times, not on purpose, but he's a little monkey and he has sharp claws. So I always have cuts on my hands because, as you can see, He's an adventurous boy. And I don't fault him for that. But I'm just trying to show your sexy ass off to the public, Danny. All right, so that was my first rat. Stay tuned for the second. All right, ready for rat number 2? This is Cosmo, the cosmic rat. Cosmo is a Russian blue. So the same coating as like a Russian blue cat, kind of a... It's mostly gray, but it's, you know, a little bit blue. And then he has, white markings on his chest and front paws. So Cosmo is, I think of him as kind of the most babyish of my rats because he is the most docile. He isn't really displaying it right now because, again, they don't come out here as much, so there's a lot more smells and everything. But he is very sweet. He tends to be calm, and I mean, he is mischievous. He's one of the main culprits who get into my closet. But he's a good boy. But he's definitely the most calm, even though he doesn't look calm, but he is the most calm of the bunch, and he's the one who's so calm. Again, he's not displaying it at all at the moment, but you know, right now he's tense, so he's like clinging on, and it's okay, Cosmo. It's all right. But I'll often, you know, hold him like this, like he'll actually be completely flaccid, you know, and then I just kind of rock him like a baby. Again, he's not doing it right now though, but he's a very special boy. He's very sweet, and he can be a bit scared, you know. He's not as assertive as Danny, but he's a very sweet boy, and I think he's the one who's the most obsessed with eating in my bed. So I think he's actually responsible for many instances of crumbs, because they like to hoard food. So he's a bit more anxious right now, but usually he is very soft. So that's Cosmo, the cosmic rat, and he wasn't named after anyone. He was just Cosmo, the cosmic rat. That's all there is to it. All right, now I'll get my third rat. All right, rat number 3. This is the third rat of my 3 original boys. I got one more rat a month later because I just had a craving for another one. I hit up my rat breeder, you know. This is Conan O'Brien rat. He was named after Conan O'Brien, and I think there's a strong resemblance. He has, you know, kind of that ginger going on. He's very skittish. He's the most skittish of all my rats. And he is one that I haven't been able to bond with the same way as the other ones. The other ones we're very close. They come up to me all the time. We snuggle. They're very affectionate to me. They'll let me pet them and play with them a lot. Conan is, you know, Conan O'Brien. Conan is more independent. He will come by you, but it's only for a briefer amount of time. He has the sweetest little face. He is adorable. Right, Conan. He has those little sort of elfin ears. I mean, he is a sweetheart, but he's a menace. All right, don't get me wrong. This is what I'm talking about, like the destruction of Western society. This rat is you can't completely trust outer appearances, because while he is very sweet and he can be, you know, skittish, and he is the biggest culprit of getting into my closet and just making a fucking mess in there. He just loves to be in there because, again, he is more independent. He likes to be kind of on his own. You know, he's a rat, so he likes to feel safe, and he likes to be in the dark, small, closed-in space. Don't we all, you know? And so that's his deal. But he is, you know, we haven't been able to bond, but he does trust me more, you know, as time goes on. And I think it's because he was sickly when I first got him. I didn't realize it when I picked him out, but a few days later he was sort of sick, and I think he has some attachment problems from that. But he's not a bad rat at all. I mean, he's perfectly, you know, friendly, and I've never had any problems with him except that he's very messy. But he's just more timid, and he's less affectionate, and he's not as comfortable with intimacy. So like I said, he has some attachment things, but as you can see, he is, you know, a good boy. And he has these spots on his back, which are very cute. So he has very unique markings. He's the one that least looks like a rat, because he just has these cutesy markings, you know, kind of like a dog or a cat. So Conan, he lives up to his namesake of Conan O'Brien. And another thing about Conan is he always hangs in the corner of the cage. Like, I have this big tub in there for litter, and he always stays like right in the corner on the edge. And so I think Conan, he's always, rats like to be on perches, and they like to be up, and they like to survey things, but they also like to be tucked away in corners. If they're walking around a room, they'll stick to the edges of the walls and the corners, and, you know, they're prey animals, so they need to be cautious. So Conan is adorable, but unfortunately he hasn't, I can't like just throw him around and play with him as much as the others, but that's okay, because it's special when he sort of comes around. It's validating to me when he comes around and, you know, actually cares about seeing me. He'll check in on me for a second. The other ones, you know, will actually sort of snuggle with me, but it's all right, because I have one more rat to show. And now the rat that everyone has been waiting for, Norm Rat Donald. Okay, this is a bit of a celebrity, I feel, because Norm Rat Donald, namesake of Norm Macdonald, is pretty legendary. I call him my Black Plague Mouse, because he is all black, except for these two little white paws. Norm is, I've never quite had a rat like Norm. He is the most affectionate rat that I've ever had. I got him a month after the other three. Again, this was my cravings to fill the void. I was like, I just need another rat, and I'm so glad that I got Norm. It was a very good decision. It's like, should I have another fourth baby? Like, it was a good decision, because Normie he's my boy, he's my lad. He bonded to me immediately. I've never had a rat bond to me so quickly. Like, immediately as I picked him out, he bonded to me. And he's just been completely obsessed with me ever since. Like, this rat he actually will come when I whistle. And I mean, I've been pretty lazy about training them, but like he's the only one that does of the all the rats, and he'll always come and see me, and he actually will snuggle up to you, you know, like nuzzling you and stuff like a dog or a cat would. And he's just a really special rat. I love this rat. He's like a chalkboard eraser. He also is the most playful of all my rats. Right now, again, he's a little more tense because of the environment, but he is very playful. He likes to be tickled. He loves being tickled. And his stomach. I can't do it right now because he's very tense. But, you know, he doesn't mind at all. He's, Normie. Norm, I like to say the rats are like just triangles because they they just look like triangles with a body. Their faces are triangles. What can I say? I love this boy. He is a miracle, and he's Norm Rat Donald. I mean, what's not to love there? He wants to get into trouble right now. One thing to note about the rats is they have very long tails. Their tails are about as long as the rest of their bodies. So their tails are kind of like monkeys' tails. They use them to navigate and climb and do all the things that these triangle-faced bastards like to do. And Normie. Yeah, but he's my most snuggly boy. So when I'm upset, I'll usually grab Norm. I'll be like, I need my support rat, and reach into the cage. Normie is probably the one that I go to the most. Norm and Danny, because we have bonded the most. But especially Normie is always there for me, except when he's nervous, like right now. But all of my rats are precious babies. None of them have ever been violent at all. They've never bitten me. They're very gentle with their teeth. They know to be gentle with me. They'll always lick me. They'll lick my face, you know, my eyelids, and they're always very, very gentle. Their claws are, you know, not, you can really see, but their claws are sharp. But they're very gentle with their teeth, and, you know, they know how to play with me. They're well socialized. And, you know, they're small. They're small. Sometimes I will leave them eating with the door closed in my room, which is maybe not the best idea, but I like to give them free roam time. And then I'll come in and they'll greet me at the door. And this is like a tiny ass, like a little rat. And they try to sneak out too. They're not. So I know how to like get in and get out of the room quickly. This is this tiny little creature at your foot. So, you know, the rats have definitely taught me skills like how to be patient and just, you know, mindful. You know, I'm walking certain places, and you know, they really are my sons. Another thing I guess I should have pointed this out is male rats have big balls and little dicks, and long tails. So they're showers, not growers, with that. But no, they do have huge testicles, and they do teabag you, you know. And so, but you know, when you're sort of used to the rat mom life. It doesn't bother you. These aren't my first set of rats. These are, I had, oh man, how many rats before? I had, my original set of rats was when I was 18, and that was 3 brothers. All of these rats are not related. They're from the same breeder, but they're not genetically related, except Conan and Norm are actually half-brothers. But they're completely different. But these were 3 brothers, and Dewey, Gabriel, and Bernie. And then I got Stuart when Bernie died, and then I got Basil and Zephyr. So I have had quite a few rats, but I will say Normie is unlike any other rat. I mean, they're all unique, you know, but Norm is, I've just never had a rat that was so snuggly, even though he's being standoffish right now. But this is breaking news. I feel like, you know, media isn't talking about this enough, and, you know, it's frustrating that people, you know, I try to get the word out about these rats, but, you know, people just won't cover the story. It's taboo, it's controversial, and yet, you know, it's a self-evident sort of truth. Norm Rat Donald, ladies and gentlemen. Also, rats love to ride around on your shoulder like a parrot. Except Normie wants to get down right now and go get into stuff. So, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the Funk God Mischief. These are the creatures.